Hello everyone, my name is Webweaver, and welcome back to It's Look Who It Is. We're back, homie is back, we're opening the sticky notes, we're going to the fucking Haru arc. And by Haru arc, I mean Yashiro arc, but can you really blame me? For a while, arc was just like, it was the Haru thing that we were doing for so long. So, you know, you can excuse the slip-up every once in a while. The number is unchanged, so that means that it is... We do a little 5 runs today, 4 runs tomorrow. So the Haru arc. Yeah, I regret to inform you the Haru arc is on its way out. I think we've played enough Haru for 1 year. But more realistically, the Yashiro arc, it's got about 4 more episodes in it. So how do you get the Yashiro arc to keep going, you ask? Make the subscriber number go up. You just gotta hit that subscribe button. Did you know that only that 40% of the people watching this video aren't subscribed? That's fucking crazy. Oh, Knight Errant again, all perks. Wowee. Wait, hold on, what god is this? Gazoo. We do a little Gazoo Knight Errant gaming. Now listen, I'm not the biggest fan about Knight Errant gaming, but we might see if we can't pull something off. I mean, we had a Knight Errant run yesterday, and it went about as well as you would expect. Now that's Curious Birthmark. This one, the one that looks like the knight jousting on a horse. That's what this one always looked like to me. It's kind of crazy how much you can communicate with these little icons. Now ill-fated, I think that's supposed to be a gravestone. This is the 7th curse, so that's like, I assume that's a money symbol. Hunted by the cult, you've gotten a cult symbol right there. Medical history is documentation. Curious Birthmark is the birthmark itself. Exquisite Taste is a wine glass. Eldritch Parasite, I have no idea what the fuck that's supposed to be. And then Commoner, it looks like a person holding a fucking baseball bat, I'll be honest with you. If you say it's any of these are 2 bears high-fiving, then, you know, I never saw that. I never saw it that way. I'll be true and real with you. It was what? It was Gazoo, right? Yeah, it was Gazoo. Pretty sure it was Gazoo, because Gazoo looks like that. Yeah. So, we're in hell. This is bad. This is really bad. Remember your second mystery, and... Oh, it's just every stat check in the game. Okay. It's second mystery, every stat check in the game, and maybe light source. That's kind of terrifying, honestly. Honestly, give me the... I think his cult store is still the way to go. But we're just kind of gonna roll it like this for a little bit. I have some devious plans in the making right now, and as you could probably tell, Pseudo Regalia has already been uploaded today, and Druids was uploaded yesterday. That's right, I did 2 Druids episodes. I've done a Druids episode last week and this week, if you can believe it. And then the next Druids episode is going to be very easy because I say in the video, I'm not grabbing all those fucking cutscenes. I absolutely refuse to do so. Because that would probably take me like 2 hours. Because it's having to like fail the different it's having to fail that over and over and over again and then record the cutscenes and then stitch them in perfectly. Absolutely not. I categorically refuse to do that. Although I will spoiler alert, the next Druids episode is, I think I say it at the end of the episode, we're gonna be there for like 40 minutes, and that's like not even a lie. I think we might have even been there for longer, but it's been a while since I checked the recording. But yeah, no, so you're probably gonna get 3 Druids episodes, if you can believe it, within the span of 30 days. Holy shit. And if you're really lucky, you might get a 4th Druid episode in the span of 30 days. Holy shit. That would be new tech that's never before been achieved. But ideally, I want to get Druids done before this month ends, because I want to move on to Dead Space. I originally wasn't even going to do Pseudo Regalia. I was just going to do Dead Space once Druids was over, but Pseudo Regalia was so good I had to just interject it there. By the way, Pseudo Regalia fully recorded, so it's just me uploading an episode of that every other day. So that's pretty cool. Vigil, Scissors, Flood. Arms Festival. So this is like hell, actually. Like, take ending A out of all this shit. First of all, it's complete fucking RNG fest for this right here. And this right here. So potentially these two are like, well, you can run away, but you can run away on timeline B, but that's still 5% doom. So, I mean, it's still better, but, you know, it's not great. Violent Vigil is most likely not happening. This is most likely not happening. Unless I'm cooking up some devious, like, Violent Vigil, grab the meat cleaver, and then inspiring novel on the flood, and then try to get all the allies there. Is that really what I want to try to do? And the problem with abnormal arms, this is also completely fucking random, and I don't want this to be my first mystery, unless we're using aspiring novel. You know what? Let's do something that is uncharacteristic and zany and wacky, okay? Let's do something that's a little bit weird, a little bit twisted, a little bit crazy. At least make it go down as an episode that we tried something new for once in our goddamn lives. Which, you know what, you play this game enough, you try a lot of the configurations of what you can do. Getting the katana would just be, like, unimaginably based. I mean, we're never gonna see the katana, but it was worth a shot. It was absolutely worth the shot. And I think since I'm not gonna do this, I at least want to dodge the doom. So we're gonna follow this, okay? We're gonna do a little bow, bow, bow clap. Just as like a little treat, you know? Just as like a little afternoon snack, a little evening dinner, a little midnight treat enjoyment, you know? Something like that. Sorry, I'm thinking about food I want to eat. But yeah, we're just gonna follow this. Make sure that I have a inventory slot open for one of the weapons of all time. Thank you so much. My only hope about this is that we are going into all perks. So we could just get like super lucky and see like adrenaline or fast swimmer on the first level up and then be like, ah, the run is solved. But the thing is, like, if we don't get something good, like, I'm kind of relying on just I'm kind of just relying on them both doing like 2 damage in total, you know? Like, I'm kind of just relying on the fertility idol and the dancing villagers just to do like 2 damage each, and then we can kill the villagers in like 1 round of combat or whatever. Which is kind of cope, but it's also like, you want to know what else is cope? Getting the fuck away from here. Our accuracy is gonna suck. Our accuracy is gonna be so bad. Our accuracy is gonna be unimaginably bad. But hopefully we can get some faith in the smallest amounts, giving us power where it counts. And I think the faith element here is gonna be very important. But also like the small candle would go, oh. Small candle would go unimaginably hard. You know it. You know it would. And we gotta take the 6% doom here. Absolutely. Yeah, no, for real. We gotta help our grand uncle out. We gotta do him a solid. Because it's just kinda, the vibe is in shambles. Me when I'm law, shambles. Me when I have the meat cleaver and I miss every attack, the vibe is in shambles. True. Did I already waste the... Okay, thank God I didn't waste that. We're gonna need all the sanity that we can get. So we're gonna go into Flood. This is really dumb, by the way. This is really dumb. The Vatican does not approve of what we're doing. We didn't get permission. We didn't get approval. It's not looking too great. Oh, wow, we can boost our attack once? That's fucking crazy, man. Holy crap. The best outcome would probably be fighting the young witch and then getting the box cutter, because the box cutter is much better. We're gonna be in the doldrums for a little bit. We've got the health for it at least, so we wanna... And also, here's the thing. You might not like this, but we're gonna need to get like as many advantages as we can. So yes, the doom that we're gonna get here is like really bad, especially because this is apparently a doomed location, so we're getting like plus 2% doom or whatever every time. Yeah, this can't be healthy. That's true. Geologist gaming. Geology gaming. But we need all the advantages that we can get here. So you know, we do a little destroy the shrine. We've taken so much doom from this floor, and the only prize that I can even, like, remotely say that we have is that we are not going to, that if we live, which is an if, and also we should just drink this as well, because we don't have any allies. We might need to throw the empty bottle we might have to throw an empty alcoholic bottle at a god. But, like, we're just gonna need everything that we can get here. They're doing 2 damage, is exactly what I expected. We got 8 damage per hit. Feels pretty good. You know, just do a little 45% chance. Does it really matter? Like, we can't block, right? Like, if I block, like, what are we doing? We're kicking, which would be, I mean, that's 6 damage. You know, interestingly enough, I don't know if they take bonus, which is kind of annoying, because if we could throw at them, I would throw an empty bottle at them, or the bronze crucifix, and then we would kick, and then we would be able to kill them in 1 round of combat with the whatchamacallit. It's actually such a shame the kick doesn't do 1 more damage. But yeah, no, we've got to get these guys taken care of. Now, we would be taking 2 sanity if we block here. But the thing is, we can't guarantee that they're dead next turn. I wonder if we do a little World of Horror wiki action, and then we go to this right here. They're weak to fire, so we're not getting any bonus. We're not getting any bonus whatsoever. So the problem with this is that, like, it could just be fixed if you could throw items at your targeted enemy. Like, that would be so much nicer. And I also think throwing a empty glass bottle at a human being would do a lot more damage than throwing it at something that is about as tall as, like, an apartment complex or, like, residential 2-story home. Because that thing's pretty big. And, you know, you could make a lot of jokes about that because of what the boss is shaped like. But I'll refrain. What the hell do I actually want to do here? The problem, like, if we could guarantee that this hit, like, a 45% chance, that would be like, oh, we can't even, at 35% chance. My mistake. I think we're just kind of in it for the long haul, but the problem is, I think you just gotta send it. You absolutely just gotta send it. No. Okay, do this, and then you're guaranteeing that hits. And then you're guaranteeing that this hits. You're doing 14 damage, whatever. You can block the next turn. Okay, you can block the next turn. You only took 1 damage for some reason, or 2 damage for some reason. That's okay. We take those. You overkill here. And now you're taking 1 damage per turn. Your faith is in the fucking gutter. It's in the trash, actually. And then you're just gonna, it's just Yashiro kick beatdown, okay? That's the beatdown deck that we're running. Not as good as Summon Skull. I would prefer Summon Skull, but you know, you're just kind of hanging out here. And I think we're gonna do this one more time. You know, faith going down to 1. That's a nice, it's a nice little bit. I'm a big fan of that. I'm a big enjoyer of that. And then you're gonna do 1 of these, and then you're gonna get the fuck out of here. And you're kind of gonna hate yourself a little bit that you had to use all those resources to make that happen. Oh, fame, huh? I mean, wow. I mean, you're gonna hate me here, but this is still better than anything that we have. So it's like, yeah, no, I would like a better weapon. But, like, I'm just gonna take fame. Like, there's no reason not to take it. The other 2 are real bad. Like, I think if you didn't have fame, I think you could make an argument for art knowledge for sure. And we are going to the school, so maybe we should have taken art knowledge. But, like, what's the worst that could happen by making an evangelical priest famous? What could possibly go wrong? I think we're gonna have to take the sanity here. The 6 faith is just so sad. And I guess we can just go to... I don't want to go to Fear Festival. Actually, I do want to go to Fear Festival. What are you fucking talking about? Of course I want to go to Fear Festival. Are you fucking crazy? That's so based. Now, we're gonna have to rest, probably an unhealthy amount. But, like, if I see an ally, get the fuck in here, holy shit. Okay, nobody's showing up to his sermon, alright? But there's still time, there's still time. You know, you go into Limsa, you advertise your free company in Shout Chat, you're not gonna get that many bites, but you gotta keep at it. It's a persistent process, and then eventually somebody will join, and then they'll probably immediately leave, like a couple weeks later. But sometimes you get that person who they join, and you know what? They're a solid member, and you know them for multiple years. And then that's what makes it all worth it, because it's not easy to make well, I shouldn't say it's not easy to make friends. It's actually easy to make friends. It's difficult to meet people. That's the hard part. The difficulty is in the meeting people, okay? It's in the meeting of the minds. It's a 75% chance. We can probably ball. We're feeling pretty good about that. But yeah, no, making friends is easy. It's just the actual meeting people is the hard part. But you gotta put the effort in. If you don't put the effort in, you're never gonna meet anybody. And if you don't meet anybody, you can't make any new friends. And so what's the fun in that? Gotta meet new people. Gotta have new experiences. Even if they're not, like... Here's the thing. Even if they're not the most, like, good experiences, you gotta have new life experiences. That's really important. You just do the same thing. This is very rich coming from me, but if you just do the same thing every day, you're never gonna, like, what are you doing, right? Like, you can't just do the same thing every day. You've gotta have new experiences. You've gotta try new things, because those are the things that you're gonna remember, even if they're not all, like, incredibly based, you know? Like, having a, like, listen, I'm a guy. Like, for me, a good day is a relaxing one in the abode that has a roof over it, alright? Just chilling, just hanging out, chatting with friends. That's a great day. Nothing wrong with that. It's a based day, for sure. But the thing is, you gotta get out there, you gotta do stuff, you gotta try new things. Because if you're not doing that, then you're not gonna remember any of it, right? Like, you're gonna remember, like, something that was maybe not all based, but maybe a little stressful here and there, but it was for something that you wanted to do. It was for fun. You do that, and then you're gonna remember that way more, and that's gonna be a life experience that you hold on to way more than just like a nice relaxing day doing what you would ideally like to do. You know, you gotta put yourself in new situations, for sure. This is great. I'm a big fan of this. I cannot believe this is like kick build Yashiro. It's pretty funny. Now we're taking... Alright, goodbye. See ya! Also, did I just get a Discord notification? Was that me? Discord is on streamer mode, so I don't know why I thought I heard a Discord notification. But you know, it is what it is. Get me out of here. Get me out of here. Please just be, I don't take Doom. Like, that's what I want. Let me win the 50-50 here. Please let me win the 50-50. I am begging you. Let me win the 50-50. I think we just won the 50-50, but the game's not letting me out. The game needs to let me out. It did indeed let me out. Okay. So right off the bat, we're looking at something like this. We're looking at something like that. Roads closed. Not actually going to be too terrible. We won an amazing gambit there, by the way. We're so happy about that. We're so back. Now, why are we taking 80 million damage, by the way? Because we're just, like, they're beating our ass. Probably just an unlucky event. Yeah. Do we want to go to School Scissors? Because, like, it's just RNG. I mean, we actually want to get the other ending on School Scissors so that I don't have to fight a boss, because we're gonna lose, but... I don't know, like, what do I want? I guess we could get, like, a bottle of sludge and then throw that at the Scissor Woman. That would be pretty cool. Are we gonna do that? Wooden Bat's bad, by the way, right? Oh, absolutely. It's got a good chance to hit, but... ugh. Oh yeah, Attack Dog is actually, like, really helpful. Okay, so on one hand, we've got the accuracy. On the other hand, this guy is doing a shit ton of damage, and that's very scary. So, like, if we could maybe do a power attack with the meat cleaver, I would consider it, but we're having to think about something like this, which is I mean, we could guarantee it, right? But we send him to 19, he does 1 to us, we set him to 14, he does 1 to us, we're down to 7 faith, and then I just have to, like, fucking gamble on 2 85% chances. Let's throw the wooden bat at. Actually, hold on. Oh, friend's diary. Okay, you know what? We're fighting a boss? Absolutely fucking not. I thought about it for a second. Actually, can we listen to the ramblings of an insane guy? No, absolutely not. That takes too long. We're just gonna escape. Now, remember, we're not, we have to do the thing correctly here. So it's a little box with, like, a little line and a couple of circles. We gotta do that. We gotta do that properly. Masochistic goes hard, by the way. We gotta do that so that we get ending A. Yes, we could potentially... We want to fail this. I'm never casting a spell. Thank you so much. Okay, I don't even need to look at it again. I know exactly what this is. There we go. Should be correct now. He said to himself twice, even though they had completely different designs. The consequences of my actions. Pain Pecco. You hate to see it. This is also really, really bad. But we have 3 items that we can throw at the Scissor Woman. So, you know, that's gonna be a little bit sketchy, but we got 3 items we can throw at the Scissor Woman. I probably will throw all 3 of them, and then we just pray to God that Abnormal Arms is timeline A. So that also is a good thing for our Doom, and then also it's a good thing for us not having to, you know, fucking die to the combat. So this is a somewhat similar situation, but our power level's gonna be a little bit sketchier. So I'm just gonna go ahead and throw both of those things, and we're just gonna move on with our lives. We can take her down to 12, or we can most likely take her down to 11. So we're just gonna do that. Because why not? We're right here. We might as well do it. This is going to do... So this is gonna do 9, so it's not gonna do enough. Now, this is going to... This should kill. This absolutely should kill, because it's gonna do 13, so that will kill. Didn't really matter what we did earlier. Winds of Plague does literally nothing. I mean, I'm looking at this, and it's not looking too good, Chief. It's actually looking pretty bad. We're gonna put a point to dexterity just to make it happen, but, like, this is not good. We're currently taking -6, which isn't great. I would prefer to not be taking that. But, you know, it is what it is. I'm gonna take stamina here. A little bit odd, but we are potentially fighting a stamina boss. I think what we need to do, and maybe this is a little bit controversial, is we need to just heal as much as possible before the potential boss fight, and just assume that we're going to fight the boss. We're just gonna assume that we're gonna fight the boss, and then in turn, that will allow us to plan around the extra 6% Doom. We just gained a stamina, that's fine, we can immediately lose a stamina. It's a low threat level location anyways, so I don't really have to worry about that. We got 8 dexterity, you gotta roll your highest stat. I genuinely believe you gotta roll your highest stat. If you're not rolling your highest stat, then what the hell are you doing? Like, why is it your highest stat if you're not doing that? Now, we have to roll 1 here, so are we gonna roll a 3 or are we gonna roll a 6? We're gonna roll a 6, and that's okay. Now, we're gonna have to do some prep work, obviously, because we're a little bit worried. You know, you gotta roll your highest stat. And then sometimes it matters, sometimes it absolutely doesn't. That's completely irrelevant to everything, where all the vents are connected in one place. So we're on Kazoo, and do we have fetid fumes? I think we do, right? Yeah, that was the first thing that we got. So the problem is that we're potentially fighting a boss. There's no way for us to know, because we would get the tiny key. We would only get the tiny key by doing the side quest, but the side quest, like, the tiny key will only drop on timeline A after the mystery is over, right? So there's nothing here, there's no way we can check that I know of. If there is some crazy tech, I would love to hear it. But for now, we do have to kind of reckon with the fact that it may or may not be over. because we don't really have a lot of resources that we can use. And by that, I mean our resources are completely untouched because we did the only in-town mystery last. So we can go ahead and get cursed and then almost die, and then we can go ahead and get cursed and then die, just period. I think that's fine, right? Or we can alternatively go up to 74 and then 80 with the resting once. I think that's fine, right? Like, because I want to be at 7. But no, I would absolutely... No. Here's what I want to do. I want to go here. And then what I want to do is I would like to use the excess doom that we have. Oh, that's great. That's really good. Now, admittedly, 95%. That's absolutely fantastic. The problem is that we can't afford to fight here. Because if we take... We're taking 6 damage from the lighthouse. Okay, that's fantastic. That's amazing. You love to see that. We're still in the 70s. The high 70s, but we're not in the 80s yet. We haven't breached that. We're so back. Okay, we're here. We've won. We've actually won. Yashiro run 1. This, I don't even want to fucking think about this. If Josephine ever finds out about this run, she's gonna be like, Meat Cleaver Yashiro lol. And I just imagine, like, the Toho hijack lol, but it's just, like, Josephine drawn in that art style. We really did just do the Meat Cleaver dream. I hate how the Meat Cleaver statistically is, like, one of the most dog shit items in the game, but it's like, it works sometimes. A crude weapon. Sharpened edge can slice through the toughest cuts of meat. Apparently that even includes God. The toughest cuts of meat would include God. Okay, so here's what's gonna happen. We are going to succeed here. -3 stamina, -3 reason, -6 stamina. We're good, and then... actually, we're good there. So we're only taking -3 reason. That's pretty cool. But yeah, no, it's... the vibe was potentially in shambles, and we're completely fine. We're completely fine. We're gonna live. And that's kind of nuts. I was not expecting that. But, I just hate how the fucking Meat Cleaver is a thing that's real, and we somehow keep making it work. It does not feel like the meat... Like, look at this. 4 damage, 90 speed, 65 chance to hit, extra damage against human and monster enemies. Like, that doesn't look like it'll... That doesn't pan out like it'll work. That doesn't statistically work. That doesn't, like... There's nothing about that that theoretically works. And yet, here we are. A little bit of lucky RNG. And you got 18% Doom until the end of the world, and you got 8 health at the final lighthouse after only passing 1 skill check. Or threshold check, I should say. Oh my god. Alright, yeah, no, that was it. That was it, that was the run. I am emotionally drained and exhausted because that run sucked, but it was also pretty good. We also got completely shafted by Fear Festival, by the way. We got lucky and then recruited a second ally through a random event. So yeah, anyways, thanks for watching, stay safe out there, have a good one, bye!